Hi you guys, welcome back to my Crypto 101 series, and today we're going to be going over the Avalanche platform and the AVAX crypto coin, okay? Now this is an amazing platform. I know I say that for every single coin I go over, but they're all so amazing in their own ways. But this one is amazing because of the speed of the transactions, the speed of the finality of the transactions, and is less than 1 second. Okay, now we're gonna go over that all in this video. We're gonna do a deeper dive into that. But before we get started, welcome back to Getting Digital with Deja. Okay, first let's start off with the textbook definition of what this Avalanche platform is. Avalanche is a modular layer 1 blockchain ecosystem focused on high throughput, sub-second finality, and flexible custom chains. All chains are interoperable within the AVAX ecosystem and EVM compatible, making for a seamless experience for builders and users. So if you notice in that definition, I did say that Avalanche is a modular layer 1 blockchain type of ecosystem. Now, in order to actually have a full understanding of what this Avalanche platform is and what it does as far as its utility, I do want to go over the definition of modular, okay? Because it's very, very important in this aspect. So I'm going to give you the textbook definition for that. Modular is a blockchain architecture that splits core functions, execution, settlement, consensus, and data availability across specialized separate layers rather than handling them all at once, monolithic chain. This boosts scalability, flexibility, and efficiency by allowing each layer to optimize for a specific task. Okay, so we got execution, settlement, consensus, and data. Those are 4 very, very important aspects for any blockchain, okay? And like I said, it's usually on a monolithic type of structure where one entity handles all of that, one system handles all of that. But with this modular type of framework, they're going to be breaking that down into pieces so that each piece can be optimized. So execution is going to be optimized with all the tools that it needs to be optimized with, settlement as far as that, and the consensus, and then data. So everything is literally broken up into separate segments in order for it to operate faster, operate more efficiently, and then honestly for the system to just move a lot more smoothly. So while it is modular, it is still a layer 1 blockchain, okay? So that means it's not as scalable and as efficient as the layer 2, like Ethereum's layer 2, where they have just insane amounts of transactions per second and just so many tools and different things that you can use on it. Because you have to remember, layer 1 is like a base layer, a fundamental layer, foundational layer, I guess you could say, and then layer 2 is just upgrades built on top of that to make it more scalable and more efficient. So this Avalanche platform is a layer 1 blockchain, and the blockchains that it consists of are also layer 1 blockchains that are built on the layer 1 blockchain. They used to be known as subnets, so it used to be subnets being built on this layer 1 Avalanche blockchain, but now they're known as their own layer 1 blockchains. So you have the Avalanche blockchain, which is layer 1, and then you have the capability to being able to bring other and build other blockchains on this layer 1 Avalanche blockchain, and those blockchains are also going to be layer 1 blockchains as well. Okay, so now that you have a clear understanding what modular is and how this layer 1 blockchain operates, we're going to go into the different segments and the different parts of the blockchains that make all this come together. So you're going to have the X chain, the P chain, and the C chain. Now we're going to go into a deeper dive of what each one does in the functioning and how it all brings everything together. So first you have what they call the X chain, which stands for the exchange chain. And this chain is essentially just responsible for creating and transferring assets like the AVAX coin or different assets that you can have as well on this platform. So next you have what they call the P chain, which stands for the platform chain. And this chain essentially just coordinates everything happening with the validators, anything happening with staking, and also is in control of anything happening with the layer 1 blockchains that are customly made on this Avalanche platform. And lastly, you have what they call the C chain, which is going to be known as the contract chain. And that's exactly what it does. It handles anything having to do with smart contracts, okay, on this platform. And it's also going to be EVM compatible. So that means Ethereum virtual machine compatible. So anything that you built on the Ethereum platform, you can bring it over to the Avalanche platform and still have your way with it. So this is really just amazing, okay? So you have these 3 different sectors that essentially just breaks up everything that needs to be done on the main chain, the main blockchain of Avalanche, and breaks it down into smaller parts so that everything can happen faster and everything can be optimized, okay? So it can have its own attention for each segment, okay? So when it comes to these custom chains, remember they are EVM compatible. So that means that users and developers can create their own custom layer 1 blockchains with their own rules, their own tokenomics, their own tokens, their own like consensus and everything like that, while still leveraging the Avalanche platform and their security as well on top of that. So it is a shared infrastructure. So these custom chains that these developers and these users are creating, even though they have their own rules, their own tokens, their own everything, you guys, their own applications, it's still going to be on the Avalanche platform, okay? So anything dealing with infrastructure as far as the modular type of sense of things going on, and then also on top of that, the security of the platform, those 2 things are going to be also available to any blockchain that decides they want to build on the Avalanche platform, okay? So they still have access to all of those things. So it's not like you have to build your own security and have to worry about hackers and things like that. No, the Avalanche platform is going to have that all covered for you. All you have to do is worry about building your own custom blockchain to optimize whatever you're trying to do. So there are many benefits besides just scalability and efficiency when it comes to having a modular type of framework for your blockchain systems, especially when all these customized blockchains can use that same modularized system. It's pretty amazing. So I did go through and come up with the top benefits of having this modular type of ecosystem for these blockchains, and I have the textbook definition for you right here. So this modular approach allows Avalanche to scale horizontally. New chains can be added as demand grows while keeping both congestion and costs low. Okay, now here are some of the specifications or customizations that each person can have when they're creating their own blockchain, which is going to be isolation of application logic, custom compliance or geographic requirements, permissioned or private chains, specific token economics and fee structures. Enterprises or projects can create purpose-specific blockchains with alternative rule sets without compromising the security or speed of the main network. So when I say you can make your own customized chain on this network, that's literally what I mean, you guys, okay? So they're allowing you to just have all the bells and the whistles that come with like the Ethereum type of platform, because remember, it is an EVM compatible platform, okay? So Ethereum virtual machine compatible platform. So all the bells and whistles that you have from Ethereum, these users can literally use those same tools and things on this Avalanche platform. So you have to remember, these platforms, these blockchains, they literally speak in like code and in language, okay? So if you understand the language used on the Ethereum platform, you'll be able to transfer that over to this Avalanche platform, and this Avalanche platform will be able to read that same language and be able to put out everything that you'll be able to put out on the Ethereum platform, okay? Now, also remember you guys, this is like for customized, just real specific application and chains, okay? So when you have Ethereum, you have a lot of generalized chains and things like that. But this on here for this Avalanche network is very customized and everything is very optimized, okay? And you can add more chains as you go. So you can add more things to your chains, to your platform as you go, which is really amazing, because as your blockchain grows that you customly make on this platform, you can continuously add on to it without having to just scrap everything and create a whole new blockchain to basically be able to suffice for all the things that you wanted to add on to your customized blockchain. So that means if you start off first with one type of token and you want to make a new token for that same exact blockchain, you don't have to make a totally new blockchain. You can just add that token on there. If you want to change the rules, the fee structures, the requirements, if you want to have specific requirements for based on geographical requirements, like, oh, if you live here, you have to abide by these rules. If you live here, you have to abide by these rules. You can just add them as you go. So because it's horizontally made, you can just add new chains and new things onto your customized blockchain as you go and as you grow. And I thought that was really amazing, because I feel like that would be a big plus for big enterprises who are constantly changing and constantly adding things to their blockchains. Even though it is a layer 1 blockchain, it's still amazing that you can add these type of customizations. So before we get into the consensus mechanism of this platform, I wanted to go over the tokenomics of the platform, okay, of this AVAX coin. So it is right now by market cap considered the number 28 coin in all of crypto. I think that's pretty good. Number 28 is not too shabby. We've had other coins that have went over that are lower than 28, so number 28 is not too bad. And now I'm going to go over the tokenomics of the coin. So the max supply of the AVAX coin is going to be 720 million tokens. The circulating supply is around 430 to 460 million tokens. The market cap is around $4 billion. The price is around $9.06 as of today. And the transactions per second is going to be 2,500 transactions per 0.8 seconds. So not even a full second, y'all. And it's already giving you 2,500 transactions. Pretty amazing, right? Pretty amazing. And I'm going to tell you how they're able to do that once I go over the consensus mechanism, which is coming up right now. So the consensus mechanism for this coin is a little bit different. It's considered random subsampling. I know you're probably like, what? Random what? Okay, but I'm about to tell you what that means exactly. I got the textbook definition for this, so it is a little bit lengthy, but I wanted y'all to have a full understanding of it, so we're going to go ahead and go over it from the textbook. So instead of an all-to-all communication, validators query small random subnets of peers to reach consensus quickly, making it robust, decentralized, and capable of high throughputs. Remember, 2,500 transactions per 0.8 seconds. All right. Avalanche uses a leaderless system based on the Snow family of algorithms, where decisions are made through repeated random sampling. So now I'm going to go through the 3 steps that it goes through to be able to have these transactions finalized. 1, a validator receives a transaction and sets a preference. Example is going to be accept or reject. 2, the validator queries a small random subset of other validators, participants, to see what they prefer. So it's going to be like, okay, I'm going to recruit you guys. What do you guys think should be the decision? Accept or reject, right? Number 3, if a majority of the sample validators prefer a certain outcome, the original validator updates the preference to match the majority. So no matter what the initial validator said, so if the initial validator was like reject, right? But the majority said accept, that validator is going to have to put it as accept, okay, for that transaction. So that's how that basically goes. And the final step, which is going to be step 4, is going to be finality, okay? The process is repeated. Once a specific preference has been selected consecutively for a required number of rounds, which is going to be the confidence threshold is what they call it, the transaction is officially committed, resulting in incredibly fast, near instant finality. While configurable, the default decision threshold is set to 20 consecutive successful queries, okay? So basically what this is saying is that the sample sizes have to be of at least about 20 validators, okay? So that sample size of 20 validators, they have to have 14 of those 20 validators agree consecutively on the same exact type of decision, whether that be reject or accept, for it to be considered a successful round, okay, you guys? Now, that has to happen for 20 consecutive rounds for it to actually be committed and placed onto the blockchain and finalized. So in summary, to summarize everything that I went over for the consensus, the decision has to be accepted or confirmed and agreed upon 20 consecutive times in order for it to be finalized, okay? I know that sounds like a lot, and you're like, how is it near instant, finality if it has to go through 20 rounds and be consecutive 20 times, as far as the approvals for whatever decision is made? The system be systeming, okay? That's all I can say. The system be systeming, because it is 2,500 transactions per 0.8 seconds. So near instant, okay? Near instant. And this is really, all these coins that I've been going over lately for like the past few videos have been very centralized as far as their consensus mechanisms. POA, which is proof of authority, and then they're choosing the validators and things like that. Very centralized. But this right here is the definition of decentralization, okay? So you're just putting the transaction into random sampling with all these different validators, okay? Random sampling. And it's amazing because it's showing you that crypto still is decentralized in some aspects, okay? Because there's a lot of coins that have moved to the straight up centralized form of consensus mechanism, but the Avalanche platform is very decentralized, and they let you see that by how many times and how many rounds it has to go for it to actually be considered accepted. And also one thing I want to add about this consensus mechanism is that the transaction fees that go along into this are going to be deflationary. So this is a deflationary type of ecosystem that they have going on. So that means they're going to be burned and never put in circulation again. Okay, so deflationary, which is going to work out better in their favor in the long run. Now, before we end, I wanted to go over the newest and greatest update they have to this platform, which is going to be known as Avalanche 9000. Now, this is an amazing upgrade in so many different ways. I actually have the textbook definition because I want to get every single way that it's amazing onto this video. Okay, so let's go over that now. So Avalanche 9000, which is the largest upgrade to the network in the network history, okay? And eliminates the need for 2,000 AVAX to stake, removing a high barrier to entry for developers. Introduces better interoperability through interchain messaging, which is known as ICM, which connects various L1 blockchains. L1 validators can now have customizable staking options, gas tokens, and governance. And now they have what they call the Retro 9000 program, which is going to be a $40 million grant supporting the transition and the upgrade of this Avalanche system, this Avalanche platform, okay? So, you know, validators, they have to stake, okay? Stake their crypto and things like that, their AVAX coins, to be able to become validators, all right? So 2,000 AVAX coin and the price is $9.06. That can be a little bit pricey to be able to become a validator. They got rid of that. Nope, you don't need to stake that much, okay? So that means they just removed a barrier for entry. So now you're having more validators, making it even more decentralized because more people are able to validate and have a say-so in what's happening inside of this platform, okay? So it's not in the hands of a small amount of people who can afford it. It's now widening the amount of people who can actually become validators and actually work on keeping this ecosystem going. Also, on top of that, remember that Avalanche is a platform, but it allows for customizable blockchains to be built on top of this platform, L1 blockchains. So that means when you have a blockchain, you can have your own tokens, you can have your own gas fees and things like that. They are allowing you to be in full control of that. So whatever token you want, whatever you create, you can have that on there. Whatever gas fees you want for that token, you can have that on there. If you want to be able to have validators on your blockchain and things like that, or if you want to have people to be able to stake a certain amount of crypto on your blockchain to be able to operate on there, you can now do that with this Avalanche 9000 update, okay? So it's really, really cool, and it's fully funded, $40 million grant. That is amazing. Again, it's a grant. It's not a loan. It's not something that needs to be paid back. So when you're thinking of a grant, that means that somebody believed in this and was like, yo, we're gonna sponsor y'all, we're gonna fund you guys, do what you gotta do to make this transition happen smoothly, okay? So, and also allowing more interoperability. So these L1 blockchains are now able to better communicate with each other to get things done, okay? Which is where the ICM comes in, okay? So this is really just amazing updates happening to this platform of Avalanche and to the AVAX coin in general. I think this is definitely a steal. Okay, and also let me tell you guys, a lot of the coins I've been going over have been like 30 cents, you know, less than $1 and things like that. There have been very few coins that have been over $1 that I have been going over. For this to be like relatively at $9, which is kind of a low right now because crypto is going through a bit of a bearish type of environment. So $9 is kind of a low for this coin. $9 in crypto world is considered a lot for one token. So you have to pay attention to the price. Okay, so when the price of a token is kind of up there, that means it kind of has some utility behind it. So it means it kind of has some support and some backing behind it that you should pay attention to. Again, this is just financial advice, but I wanted to let you guys know. Crypto works just like the stock market. So when you see a stock, let's say Nvidia, it's $200. There's a lot of stuff backing it. There's a lot of good things going on with that, all right? But then we have D Quantum Wave, QBTS, and it's like $15. Even though there's a lot of backing it, there's a lot of utility, a lot of support going on, Nvidia has way more, which is why the price is way more, because you're gonna pay for what you get. You're gonna pay for exposure, okay? So if something is higher in price, you're paying for more exposure because it has more exposure. That is my logic on it, okay? Bitcoin. $100,000. I wonder why. Ethereum. I wonder why. Like, you know what I mean? So You just have to really pay attention to the tokenomics when you're studying these crypto coins. So that is it today for the Avalanche and the AVAX platform. And our next episode will be going over IOTA and the MyOTA coin, okay? That is going to be a little bit of a longer video because it is a lot going on with that platform, all right? So I'm going to be going over that in deep dive detail for my next episode this week. But before I go, I want you guys to remember that pretty girls can do crypto too. Toodles.